Now I want to make a reusable stencil or paintable stencil, and I want it all one word. And I decided I wanted a script font. So how do I do this? Just double click on Cricut Design Space. I've already logged in, so you'll see, welcome Margaret. At the library, you'll have to put your username and password. Let's go to new project and text. And the word I want to stencil is hope. So I'm going to just put capital H. And there it is. And as soon as you type in the text box, you'll notice this will open here. You'll see font and style and font size. Well, we want to change the font. Clicking on font. And I want system because all in Cricut, I know there is a fee. I don't have Cricut access as of yet. I'm just going to left click on system. And there are lots of fonts to choose from. You can actually play around with them, but I know for a fact I want a script font. So I'm just going to go to search over here and type in script. And as soon as you type in script, you'll see it narrows it right down. You can click on each one if you'd like. No, I don't particularly want that one. But I have decided already that I want this one, which is Vladimir script. And what I recommend to do is to actually even write it down somewhere on a piece of paper, the actual font, in case you decide to change your mind halfway through your project. But I decided I definitely want this one. So I'm just going to type out the rest of the word. And I don't want caps. And hope. I'm just going to drag this up so it's closer here. You'll notice that the line spacing or the letter space is, they're quite far apart. So I do want to bring it in. So I'm just going to put it here just so I can see it better. Click on here and letter space. We're just going to click on the arrow just to bring the letters in more. I think that's about the most I can do at this point. From here, we are going to ungroup these this word so we can work with the individual letters. So you can rearrange these letters by clicking on them, moving them. You can actually make them a little bigger if you'd like. But once you're happy with the placement of these letters, I might make the H just a little bigger. Put it over there, just so it's not on top. Now, a lot of it is just playing around and what your imagination or how you want to see the finished product. Once you're happy with the way it looks, we are going to weld the letters together. And once you weld, there is no going back. Once you've welded it, it is done. So how to weld is you just highlight everything. And you'll see here under your layers, you'll see each one is individual right now, but as soon as I click the weld button located in the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to put them all together. And you'll see here, weld result and cut here. So we have now welded the letters. Now at this point, I just want to resize my letters. So I'm going to click unlock. The board I'm using is basically 5 inches by 12. So I'm going to make the width here 11. It's going to be 11. And I'm going to make the height 4. So that's basically what it's going to look like on my stencil. And you know, I have welded it together. Not too happy with the way this line is here. So I might, when I go to print it, I'm going to put another piece in here. So anyway, I'm going to lock it. To create the stencil, it's just like we did before. You pull out a shape. And we're going to make this 5 by 12. So we're going to just unlock. And we're going to go 12 is the width. And we're going to go by 5. And we're going to put it on top. We're going to click move backward. Now we're going to select the whole thing and we're going to align center and lock. Once we've done that, we are going to use the slicing tool. And the slicing tool is located on the bottom right hand side. It is beside weld. Once you left click slice, there we go. We're going to pull out this and we're going to pull out this. I'm just going to click delete and right click and do delete as well. So just have this. When we go to cut, there's going to be some issues because when we cut out a paintable stencil, it won't recognize this loop here or these loops here, this loop, or even this loop. It will just cut everything. So what we're going to do next is we're going to use shapes again. Pull out our shapes. We're going to pull out our square. And we're going to make a tiny little square here. Actually, I'm just going to move it over here. I'm going to pull it down. Unlock it for a minute and just pull it in so it's nice and thin. And we're going to pull it up just so we have these little squares. And we're going to lock it. And we're going to, actually I'm going to make it a little thinner. I'm going to lock. What we're going to do next is we're going to duplicate. So we need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to do 6. And go right on top of it. And then what we do is you just go in the middle. Because we want to make sure that when we print this out, it will be all together. I'm just going to pull this down a little bit. Just make it a little bit bigger, just to make sure. And we'll grab another one over here and pull it down just to make sure. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Now what we do is we weld all these little pieces together. So how you do that is you select the whole word and then left click on weld. And that's what it's going to look like. So just before we make it, I just want to go back up here and check the size. So the width is 12. No, I'm going to make it smaller. I decided because my board is 12, I'm going to make this 10. Just so I can have it in the middle. And the height, I still want 5. So 5. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to go to unlock so I can make my change. So the width is 10 and I want my height to be 5. So 10 and 5, perfect, and lock. So I have my width, my size. I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. And we're going to click Make It. Now, from here, I'm just going to click Continue. Again, we have to set our material because we're using transparency. So we go down to plastic. And transparency. And click Done. And now to get our mat ready for the cut. So the Cricut just finished cutting out the word hope. It's very hard to see. It is actually on the transparency setting we used, and the plastic is on the mat, so we have to peel it off. And this is the piece of wood we're going to put the word hope on. So how do you peel off the plastic? You just kind of pull it down towards you like this and just pull it off. And this will take a little bit of time. And again, what I recommend to do is to keep this part here because the material can be quite expensive, and if you're doing other reusable stencils, smaller letters, this would be perfect. And from here, we just pull off the rest. Sometimes if it's hard to pull off, you may need something called a weeding tool. They actually look like dental tools. So if you don't have the Cricut set, you can use, again, go to Dollar Tree and pick out one of the dental things. I just mentioned earlier about the dental tools and the Cricut set. If you're wondering what they look like, this is the official Cricut weeding tools. And you'll see some of these look like dental picks. So if you can't get these for some unknown reason, you can check out the Dollar Tree or dollar stores, or you can order this online or go to one of the big craft stores. I just pulled off my stencil. I don't know if you can see that. We are now ready to paint the board. I've positioned the stencil onto my board. I am going to use some tape just to hold down my stencil. When you're stenciling, I always like to have, I just dropped it, some paper towel. This is my stencil brush, and I have some paint. And when you stencil, you can always use a little bit. I like to use a margarine lid. And just make sure you kind of spread it around. So you don't want to have too much paint on your brush. And when you're stencil, I just like to put a little bit of pressure, and I tend to go to the thicker parts first. And when you stencil, it's an up and down motion. So it's like, and remember with stenciling, always easier to put more paint on than take it off. And actually, I'm going to need some more paint. I'll just do this first. And as you can see, it's a dab, 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 dab motion. That's what it looks like with the paint on it. I'm just going to grab some more and then I'll reveal. I just put a little bit, another layer of tape and paint on. So now I'm going to take off my stencil. I'm going to wrap up the stencil onto a piece of paper towel because I can use this one again. And there is my sign, hope. I have a heart stencil, so I'm probably going to put a heart here and a heart there. And that's how you make a one-word reusable stencil.